Hey everyone, I'm just here today. I don't have that much time, but I'm going to try to quickly throw in my 2 cents about Skull Kid and other possible characters based off of Mii costumes. This has definitely been a trend going along right now. Everyone is looking really hard at Skull Kid and really predicting he's the next guy. Mainly just based off of one of my videos, I talked about chairs and how that might correlate to Waluigi. I even said like it's not the biggest connection to Waluigi, and I even kind of think it might be a connection to Ridley and K. Rool instead. Um, However, people have pointed out how it makes way more sense if you consider more of the backdrop that it would actually have more in common with someone like Skull Kid. Skull Kid from Majora's Mask, who the two chairs were more likely represent the two fairies that are with him at all times, which this makes a lot of sense. And the idea of putting Skull Kid in Smash, the thing is that before Majora's Mask HD came out, I actually had one friend tell me that he does not understand why Skull Kid isn't already in Smash, and that he probably should have been in Brawl. And in Smash 4, well, we were at like the release for a game at GameStop, and I saw him there. We talked for a bit. We started talking about Smash 4. It seemed like whenever I would go to like GameStop midnight releases back in the day, back in like 2013, 2014, 2012, I would end up just talking about Smash 4 with people, like anyone there, and we'd all talk about our predictions. And this guy who I was actually friends with before, um, he was there, and we were talking. This is before Majora's Mask HD. He wanted Skull Kid in the game. He said the moveset would be perfect. He's like already came up with one basically. Um, and he was. I remember thinking like, yeah, but is Skull Kid like? I remember thinking like Skull Kid is probably the most popular Zelda character that's not one of the main three, which being Link, Zelda, and Ganon, and that's all we have in Smash. So it definitely makes the most sense for him to be in the game, but I just wasn't sure if he had that star power recognition. And Smash 4 was definitely going on the path of star power recognition characters. Like they're putting in new and characters who are also relevant. That's kind of what Smash 4 was going for. And so I just didn't really. I was like, I don't know if he fits the mold. This time around is a lot different. Smash Ultimate is definitely just putting in characters that people have been wanting for a long time. There's a. It seems to be a pattern with villains. Lots of characters who are villains are being thrown into the game, and there's also lots of characters who are Mii costumes. And while Skull Kid wasn't a Mii costume, Majora's Mask was a face piece you could get. And Majora's Mask is so synonymous with Zelda now. I always considered it growing up as a spin-off game, but it really makes sense to me that like at this point it's so popular that it really is part of the main canon, and like it really is part of like it's one of the games that everyone really beloves. You know, it's right beside Ocarina of Time for a reason, and Skull Kid happens to be one of the most he's the villain of that game for one. Um, and there's definitely some clues. I'm sure everyone's already heard all of them. We first of all we saw what was in the direct. Second of all, we saw the moon is an assist trophy when previously it was Skull Kid. So it'd be kind of weird if the moon and Skull Kid were both assist trophies. Tingle is gone, but Tingle actually does appear on a stage back in Melee. So I'm not sure if he'll appear on the stage again in Melee, but I feel like that would make a lot of sense because if Tingle was in the stage, then you could turn off stage hazards and then Tingle wouldn't be in the stage anymore. So without Tingle reappearing in the stage, it's kind of like there is no stage hazards without Tingle, right? And I think the turtle also goes underwater. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played. I think the level's called Great Bay. It's been a while since I played this level in Melee. But either way, yeah, Tingle was definitely a part of that stage. He would just like kind of appear on a balloon randomly. So I feel like he might appear just as part of a stage hazard and not be an assist trophy, where Skull Kid was definitely not a stage hazard at all. The funny thing is that I am very like ridiculous when it comes to observing certain things in Smash, and one thing I've observed is like they quickly show certain characters' final smashes. They showed so many final smashes so far, And yet, there's other characters who, through both directs, they still just haven't shown them. Robin was one of them. People are like, how come they didn't show Robin's Final Smash and Robin wasn't playable at the E3 demo? Like, why are they being hush-hush about Robin's Final Smash? And that's where people decided, oh, this is probably Chrom. Chrom's playable. And people are like, nah, that can't be. And then they're like, unless he's an Echo, then maybe. And then he was an Echo, So it's one of those things where it's like, if we haven't seen something yet, then it might be a hint at something else. Like, that's why everyone's going crazy about Shadow and Isabelle. Because it's like, okay, if we didn't see Shadow, and that's something I thought day one of the E3 Direct, that Shadow is possibly going to be an Echo Fighter of Sonic, because Knuckles is in the game now. And that's that's a big deal. But the funny thing is that they showed that Link has a new Final Smash that's based off of the bow and arrow he uses when he fights Ganon for the final boss of Breath of the Wild, where Zelda gives Link the light arrow, and you have the light arrow to fight Ganon the whole fight, and you basically fight with a horse and bow and arrow the entire fight. It's really cool. It's very much so this is a Breath of the Wild kind of style of gameplay. So they gave Link basically Zelda's Final Smash, where he shoots the arrow. And I'm kind of hoping other people have different Final Smashes now. I'm not sure if what Zelda and Sheik's Final Smash is right now. I don't know if they showed those either. But they definitely showed that Link shoots like a light arrow, much like how Zelda does. Oh yeah, Zelda does have a new Final Smash. That's really cool. I forgot about that she puts them inside of a piece of the Triforce. And they showed that Toon Link's Final Smash is the same he's always had. So Link's Final Smash and Toon Link's Final Smash were the same in Brawl and Smash 4. They had the same one where they did this really cool sword combo. Now it's different. However, they have not shown Young Link's Final Smash, which is interesting because they already showed that Pichu's Final Smash is identical to Pikachu's. So you would think, why would you not just show Young Link's Final Smash? And I was thinking to myself, it would make the most sense to be the same as Toon Link's, I guess. But really, I thought, unless they did something brand new. Because I'm saying, if they want to do a bow and arrow, or the Triforce slash attack, the Triforce slash attack makes more sense for Young Link than the bow and arrow move. But if we're talking about a new Final Smash, neither one of those makes sense. Even for Toon Link, the Triforce move doesn't even make that much sense. What would be better is if they made it more based off of Majora's Mask, because Majora's Mask, you play as Young Link the entirety of the game, meaning that things that happen in Majora's Mask are completely unique to Young Link and have nothing to do with Adult Link at all. Adult Link has nothing that's the same that's in Majora's Mask. Adult Link is not present in Majora's Mask at all. It's exclusively a Young Link game. So, the consensus would be make him turn into Fierce Deity Link. Now, if this was Smash Brawl 4, it would probably be Young Link would turn to Fierce Deity Link and just walk around the stage with his giant sword and just one-shot people. But because this is Smash Ultimate and Final Smashes are normally combos now, or things that just attack everyone on screen really fast, I'm assuming he'll turn to Fierce Deity Link and then just do one big swing, or maybe do a cool combo or something, or maybe even do something else. But whatever he does, it will be as Fierce Deity Link. I'm pretty sure his Final Smash will be he just puts on the fucking mask and goes ham. And I feel like that's a big clue to Skull Kid. I really feel like if they would have shown Young Link's Final Smash by now, they would have shown it if it had nothing to do with Majora's Mask. But the idea of him using a mask from Majora's Mask, especially Fierce Deity, it could be any of them, but let's be real, it'll probably be Fierce Deity Link, just like how Cloud's Final Smash is Omni Slash, which is his final limit break from the game. A lot of Final Smashes involve characters finishing best final attacks. Sonic's Final Smash is he turns Super Sonic, for crying out loud. So I'm thinking that the Final Smash for Young Link will definitely be Fierce Deity. Definitely be Majora's Mask related. Otherwise, they probably just would have showed it already. Just like they showed Pichu's already. So it doesn't make any sense to not show it. So I'm thinking, yeah, and I'm thinking they'll probably show Young Link's Final Smash. They'll probably show him doing it against Skull Kid if Skull Kid becomes a playable character. So, do I think that Skull Kid's going to be in the game? Yeah, at this point, I actually am very certain. They even actually showed Apparently during the E3 direct, I remember this. And I remember thinking, oh, this is kind of like Donkey Kong, but I thought maybe it was just like a quirky Nintendo thing where Sakurai was standing, where he was talking in front of like a wooden wall with like a rope bridge, and there was like like a plant that was kind of like a I don't know what it's called. I'm not a plant guy, but it had kind of like a palm tree like texture when it came to the leaves coming off of the branches. I think it was just like a miniature palm tree basically, but he had this big plant. It wasn't a palm tree, but it had those kind of leaves. Either way, it definitely reminded me of Donkey Kong. Seeing the wood, there's barrels also. So like seeing all the wood and the rope ladder is really what made me think, oh, this is like Donkey Kong. Because what other Nintendo game has rope ladders? But I was just like, oh, I guess it's just like Nintendo being quirky. Like thought more that it was like synonymous with Nintendo than I did with Donkey Kong Country. And when we saw King K. Rool next time, it was like I completely didn't think about that the last direct. I thought K. Rool had gotten in on his own merit. The Donkey Kong stuff didn't really do anything for me. But now seeing Skull Kid being such a possible likely choice and seeing the backdrop of the direct, it's not an accident, guys. People who think this is like a crazy conspiracy, trust me, it's not an accident. Like Sakurai puts these things in on purpose. It's very apparent. He said during the Castlevania, right before the direct, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna. My eyes might be red though," and people are like, "Oh, it's just tired." No, come on. Like, yes, he knows we all were concerned about how exhausted he was, but it of course that was a double entendre, which it was actually perfect because the red eyes. I thought a lot of people were saying Castlevania, other people were saying it's K. Rool. It was both, guys. Like he said, he had red eyes, and that's obviously that's a reference to the bloody tears in Castlevania. One of the last things we even saw was Camellia, the mask bleeding while looking at Luigi, and I was like, there it is. There's the red eyes. Like that's what he was talking about. And then K. Rool was announced at the end of the trailer, which I didn't know if they were going to do that. I thought maybe they would announce Simon Belmont. I didn't think they were going to announce so many characters that they did. Now I'm kind of thinking they're going to announce even more characters next time, or they'll possibly have another character trailer before the next direct that will just not be anything. Though at this point, if they release a character, if they do a video and they don't release Skull Kid, then people are going to be like, what the fuck? So they'll probably just release a shit ton of characters in the next video. Probably show a whole bunch off. Because I'm kind of thinking there's room for a lot. Though they might not do another third party. They don't have to do two third parties every time. I know they did that in Brawl, and I know they did that in Smash 4, where they introduced like two new parties. I don't think they have to do two more new parties, because we already have or new third parties. I mean, blah. Because they already have so many. Plus, Geno counts as a third party, even though it's not, it's not from a new. It's from a Mario game, but that counts as a third party because they have to get Square Enix's permission to use them. He might not even be in the next Smash Bros. Because of this, So, all the third party characters are always like, they might not appear again. And I know Snake was the only one to not appear again in Smash 4, but they always all have that risk of they might not appear in the next Smash game. So enjoy them while you can now, I'll say that much. And I'm glad Snake is back, but yeah. Either way, there is a chance that Geno will just be the next third party, and then it'll be Geno and Skull Kid will be announced, and we won't get Heihachi. If Heihachi's not announced, I will not be sad, man. I will not be sad. It's really hard for me to be upset anymore with this game because so much of it is beyond my expectations. I didn't think we'd get all the characters coming back, and I was just so happy. Like, yes, we get a better Smash game, and Cloud's still in it. Cloud's still one of my favorite one of my favorite video game characters. Snake is back. Metal Gear Solid's probably my favorite video game franchise. Is Metal Gear Solid. Like, to me, I'm like, that's all I wanted. Like, I just wanted, and Mega Man's back. That's another franchise that's very important to me. So these are things that I wanted. I just wanted the characters I wasn't so sure about to come back, and I wanted to see like a really cool new character. But it's hard for me to be like, if Geno's not in this one, I'm gonna be pissed because even though I've always wanted Gino since Brawl, um, it's like I know that he's not the most likely, and I know that he's not as popular as I think he is. I just think it'd be cool because sometimes Smash is good for showing off unpopular characters and making them popular again. And I think Gino would be a cool fan favorite to do that. Um, and so that's why I think Ridley and K. Rool are definitely good choices. And K. Rool especially is because that's a character that's not popular anymore. Same with Skull Kid. Skull Kid's probably never gonna be in another Nintendo like Zelda game ever again, like except for like the spin-off games. But like look at Fire Emblem. Ike is probably he had his two games. He's not going to be the main character of another Fire Emblem game. Look at Robin, Lucina, and all of them. Like yes, they will remake the original one a lot. They've remade the original one a few times. So Marth has been in multiple Fire Emblems technically because of remakes. But when it comes to the rest of the cast, like Chrom it was in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and Chrom and Lucina were both in Project Crossstone 2. These are not Fire Emblem games, guys. So like, yeah, they're still relevant characters, but like they're not, they're not Fire Emblem characters, man. So either way, do I think Skull Kid's getting in? Yes, I do. If we look at the Mii Fighter costumes, does that confirm Skull Kid? Not necessarily, but it does basically confirm to me Gino. I think Gino's by far going to happen, and I think the fact that he has a Mii Fighter costume just lets us know that Sakurai is like, hey, so this guy Gino, like, and Gino was not put in the game until Cloud came out. So basically and the funny thing is, this is a big one. Cloud just kind of came out randomly. He just kind of fucking happened. There was no hint of Cloud. There was no big direct. It just a trailer of Cloud just came out. It's just like, bam, we have Cloud. And we were like, what? Like, I even thought it was an April Fool's joke, even though it was not showed in April. Like, I was just like, how is this even happening? Why are people talking about this? How is this even real life? Like, I could not believe Cloud. To me, that was such a big shock, And, like, that was probably the biggest what the fuck moment of Smash 4's entire existence. Because it was just not even in a direct. It was not what I expected. And when they showed Cloud, that's when they also showed the Chocobo Mii costumes and Gino. And it was like, well, they didn't show Gino during Cloud, but Gino came out like the same day as Cloud. Because Gino's also owned by Square Enix. And this is an actual conspiracy theory. This is me putting on my tinfoil hat here. But I think that part of the reason why Cloud is in Smash 4 is because Square Enix was like, if we can get one very popular Square Enix character, then we will also let you put in Gino. And Sakurai was probably like, okay, we'll put Cloud in Smash 4, and then we'll put Gino in Smash Ultimate. Because he already, Smash Ultimate was already being worked on. And so it's like Cloud had to be in Smash 4 to make Gino a reality in Smash Ultimate. And you know what? That just sounds like a win-win to everyone. So I'm glad Nintendo and Square Enix worked together on that one. And it seems like they have a pretty good relationship right now, which is a very good thing. And that's a good thing. Smash is like Nintendo's ticket to getting third parties all over their dick. I do believe Mega Man in Smash was a big, crucial role in reviving all of Mega Man. And I also bet you Capcom was like, you can have Mega Man, but only if you plan on putting in Ryu later. And Nintendo's like, we can't do Mega Man and Ryu at the same time, but we can do Ryu as DLC. And Capcom was probably like, that's fine. Because to Capcom, Street Fighter is their best-selling franchise. So they don't really care about Mega Man, they care about Street Fighter. So to put Ryu in, and that's probably like a big call for that. So, yeah, I do think that some of the DLC characters that are unpopular or popular lead to the other, the vice versas. So I do believe that we will get Gino for sure. Gino is I still think Gino's more. Actually, I still think Gino's so likely it's not even funny. But I do think that because of the teasing of Skull Kid, I do believe Sakurai was on purposely teasing Skull Kid. His assist trophy's not in the game, and the moon's there instead. They haven't shown Young Link's final smash. I think all of these things really. I know there's a lot of other things people are using to add things up, but to me, Young Link's not showing his final smash is the most important thing. That and the fact that he's not assist trophy anymore, and I do believe that Sakurai was teasing Skull Kid. So I think it's happening. I think it's only more likely than Gino now because of the fact that he was teasing him in the direct. I think it's a guarantee that we're going to see Skull Kid next time. And Gino, I think, will be the third party of the show. So if they do it like last time, they'll show Gino first, then Skull Kid. But they might not do it that way. Um, we don't know what they're going to show. We don't know how they're going to show it. But I do think we're going to see Gino, Skull Kid, and then we're going to see some more echoes. And then after that, I'm not sure as far as newcomers go. I'm not sure. Um, a lot of people want like Takamaru and like these other characters that wear Mii fighter costumes and assist trophies, and we don't see them yet. I think this game already has like more assist trophies than Smash 4, and there's a lot missing. But I do think this game might just have a shit ton of assist trophies. It seems to have a shit ton of Pokemon. So I think it just might have a shit ton of assist trophies. However, we might, next direct probably won't focus on items and stages and assist trophies because we did it last time. This next direct will probably focus on that green mode, whatever it is. And I'm assuming it's a big mode. So it'll also probably focus on online capabilities and functions. And besides that, it'll probably just show off some characters. And it might show off a few things here and there. Like, the 50 Fact Extravaganza showed off, like, very specific details about certain characters. We might see more specific details about certain characters. Like, this time, like, they might actually show Robin's Final Smash. They might show, like, characters, like, specific up tilt or something, like, or, like, their forward air or something like that. So, either way, this video is kind of running its course about exactly where I need it to be. I talked about the Mii costumes and Skull Kid. Though, I will say, there was a few Mii costumes that are interesting that could be characters or echoes. And I think this is where people are going a little bit too far with it, to where they're like analyzing the success rate of a character being in the game based off every single Mii costume, and they're like, yeah, I could see this one. I could see this one. Yeah, they're looking at it like, maybe this one, maybe this one. This one could maybe. I don't see any reason why not. And it's like, yeah, I think we are nearing our character limit. Sakurai said there won't be too many newcomers this time. Apparently that did not apply to Echo Fighters, where we're getting a shit ton of Echo Fighters. But, when we look at, we got Inkling and Ridley, which is 2. Then we got Simon and K. Rool, which is 4. I'm not counting Richter here because he's an Echo. And then we've got the possibility of Gino and Skull Kid being 6. And then when you count all the characters that were cut from Smash 4 that are returning from Melee and Brawl, and then you count all of the Echoes, it's a pretty sizable roster of characters that weren't in Smash 4, making and that's why Smash 4 had like 60-something characters. This game has 73 characters right now, and we're about, I think Smash 4 had 63 characters. We're at like 73 characters right now, and it's very possible that it'll go over 80. So that's a big deal. So that's like a sizable sequel, in my opinion, when Smash has a roster that damn big. Like, that's insane. That's so many characters. That's way too many characters. Luckily, that is counting Echoes, but it's like, seriously, guys? Like, holy crap. So yeah, we're going to see a big game. And when I look at the Mii costumes, I'm like, I'm not convinced that these Mii costumes will all have a chance of being character. I really believe that Gino does and Skull Kid does. But like Lloyd, well, as cool as Lloyd is, and I do think Lloyd is very cool, I'm not so sure. And also like Heihachi, I think he has the best chance besides a character like Lloyd. But when I look, obviously, like all the other characters, like, no. Not that they're unpopular, but like, some people point out that Tails and Knuckles are both Mii costumes, and it's like, I don't think that they're gonna put Tails in the game because they wouldn't be able to make him an echo of Sonic. I know a lot of people want Tails. It'd be really cool if they put Tails in and Shadow as like all these characters from Sonic. Um, but I doubt Sonic will get 2 more reps. I feel like he's a guest for a reason. And so far, we know that guest characters can get echoes. But as far as other reps go, I don't think we'll get semi-clones. I don't think we'll get original characters. Not for third parties. Not, it's just something that, to me, it's so closed off in my mind. I won't believe it till I see it. You know, when I saw Richter, I actually thought it was an alt costume. And they just changed the color of the fire to be blue because Bayonetta has different colored guns, you know, for her alt costume. So I didn't see why they couldn't do that for Richter. But then I realized he was an Echo when I heard all of his quotes and stuff. So yeah. And then of course they said he was an Echo. So like, but my brain completely like closed off the idea that he was an Echo because I'm like, no, third parties don't get Echoes. I don't believe it until I see it. So now that changes everything. But I still don't think third parties will get secondaries. So as far as other Mii costumes go, you know, I think Heihachi and Lloyd are two to look at. They're both from Namco, and one of them has a either one of them could definitely be in Smash, because I think Lloyd and the Tails games definitely lend themselves to being in Smash already. The Tails games play very similar as far as controls, not as far as gameplay, but as far as controls go. But when it comes to popularity and like characters that have staying power and characters that probably be requested more highly, you know, I think Heihachi makes more sense. However, I kind of think that Heihachi and Lloyd might be DLC if they're even in the game because, like I said, I was thinking, you know, they could release one more character trailer that's not a direct, just a straight up character trailer, and that's it. Just put it in a normal direct that has nothing to do with Smash. Or just release it on YouTube one day, like they used to do that in Smash 4 all the time. They would just release character trailers for no reason. I kind of think now that we know that they're hinting at Skull Kid, that they're probably going to wait for the next direct to reveal Skull Kid, and they're probably not going to release a single character in between that. So, yeah, I'm thinking Gino and Skull Kid might be the only other newcomers to the game, and then anyone else will probably just be DLC. And I think that's fine. I think that's very reasonable considering all the characters we're getting in Smash and considering the package we're getting in general. It's a revamped, better version of Smash 4 as far as terms of what they were trying to do in Smash 4, but what they were held back by thanks to the limitations of the 3DS. And you know, and Sakurai even talked about how the gameplay on 3DS was kind of making it so that way they had to make the speed not as fast and they couldn't do certain things. They had to make sure everyone could keep up. And of course, it meant cutting out certain characters and cutting out certain stages and not having certain things in the game, and less things in the game. Which the 3DS version already had, you know, smaller stages. It already had less music. It had a lot of things cut from it already, but it also just affected the Wii U version in general. So the fact that this version isn't tied to the 3DS, which I think was a bad design philosophy, I much would have preferred the 3DS game being very unique and different, having like literally different characters, and maybe even having a few characters that aren't in Smash Wii U, and being this weird oddity of a game, and then later just making Smash Ultimate have every character from both and every stage from both. But instead, Sakurai wanted to make them basically the same game, which I get it. That way you could practice Smash 3DS and when you can't play Wii U. But who really does that? Who really plays Smash 3DS on the go? No one really does that. If you're gonna play Smash, you're gonna use a GameCube controller at home. So it was a good idea, but to me, I would have just preferred a unique 3DS game. Being completely honest, like if they would have put Villager exclusively on the 3DS version, I probably wouldn't have cared. But like, I'm glad he's on both versions. I'm glad they both have every character. Even though like I barely have ever played it. Like I have Bayonetta and Cloud on the 3DS version, but like I barely use the 3DS version, so I don't really, you know, any of the DLC I don't really use. Either way, I do believe that this package will be it would be so much bang for your buck. It already looks like there's a lot more content that I'm more interested in for the Switch version, with new characters, a way better classic mode. The classic modes look so much better. And that green mode is most likely going to be a story mode of some kind. We already know there's going to be boss battles in like a boss rush type mode. We already know this. So, yeah, I think that even if there's only 2 more newcomers announced and it's a total of like 6 newcomers, I honestly think that's a reasonable amount. I think that's probably the least they could get away with. But considering DLC will be happening over time, no one should be that upset about it. And also considering the total character roster being increased thanks to all the returning characters. So this is my 30-minute video that I didn't even want it to be 30 minutes long. But basically, yeah, I think Skull Kid, Gino are extremely likely, followed by Shadow and Isabel being extremely likely. I think all 4 of them are basically shoo-ins at this point. And any other character would be like a weird speculation on my part. And I'm just not, I don't care. Like, I'm not trying to do weird speculations. Yeah, I definitely think this is the route they're going in. Even before Smash Ultimate came out, I was trying to think, like, what other new characters could they even put in? Like, I made a video when they first showed Inkling, and I was just like, I have no idea, like, what characters will be put in the game. Like, I just can't see. There's so many that I just can't see. And now I have so much of a better idea because I know they're not going for most relevant and new characters. For all the people who are going to be sad there's no Rex and Pyra, all the people are going to be sad there's not going to be Springman. Those games are newer, and Smash Ultimate's been being planned for a long time. That's the reason why we're getting Smash Ultimate 2018 and not getting it 2020 or 19. So be grateful, and those characters can easily come in as DLC. They're not assist trophies being deconfirming them, guys. They could easily be DLC characters. And I do believe Rex, Pyra, and possibly with Mira as well, all 3 of them, because that would make him a very interesting character to have the ability to be a character with 2 assist type characters that you can switch between. Plus, that way it would be similar to the Moto arts from Shulk has. So I think that Rex with Pyra and Myra, both of them, I think it's actually extremely likely it's going to be that version. It's just too unique of an idea, and it lends itself perfectly to Xenoblade 2, and Smash usually actually lends itself to the characters they're based from. So, yeah, I think it's actually very safe to say that that'll happen as DLC, same with Springman. And if Heihachi and Lloyd aren't in the game, one of them will be DLC. I can guarantee that. So, because third-party newcomers as DLC is like there's more of them than like newcomers from Nintendo, because Korn's like the only newcomer from Nintendo. The rest were returning characters. So I do think that Heihachi or Lloyd will probably be in the game as DLC. I think it's very, very likely. At this point, honestly, I think DLC characters could be anyone. As we already know from this game's roster, they're just kind of putting in any fan favorite character. It could pretty much be literally anyone as a DLC. So if you don't get your favorite character in the base game, do not despair. It is very likely you will still see them, especially the ones that are Mii costumes, especially the ones that are very highly requested. It could actually still all happen. In fact, I think Shantae fans should hold on to that more than anything, even though I really don't see her being in the game. But either way, that's what I... Oh, Waluigi. Poor Waluigi. The chairs were not about Waluigi. Waluigi, we know... Sakurai knows we want Waluigi. It could still happen, but it would probably be DLC. I don't think... If Rex and Pyra aren't going to be in the game, I doubt they're going to make Waluigi that fast. It'd have to be already have planned, which means they might be doing a Waluigi DLC character later, or maybe in the next Smash game. But I think they're holding that one off for now. Anyway, that's my video for this subject, my video for Mii Costumes and Skull Kid being in the game. I know everyone's kind of said everything that can already be said about these characters, but I did want to try to emphasize the Final Smash thing with Young Link, and just try to, basically echo everyone else, because if I say that, it'll help people realize how likely it is. So this is my little video. Next video, I will try to do a video of a more original topic next time. Sorry guys, but I'll see you guys on the next one.